Hey everybody, Raziel here, coming back at you with another Smite God build for the Xbox One, or any platform for that matter. This week we are bringing to the table Anubis, God of the Dead, for patch 3.23. He fills the role of mage for the Egyptian pantheon and is one of the most, if not top damaging gods in the game with the ability to practically solo the Titan late game. Now I bumped Anubis up in the rotation here because with this patch is the release of his tier 5 skin. It's crazy. It has 4 different metamorphoses or iterations, and his ultimate actually changes the skyline and for everyone to see. It's pretty cool. I'd still like to have been able to get the Archon for Thanatos, but seeing this and having the opportunity to get this on the Xbox is amazing as well. Anyway, this video is intended for those just starting out playing Anubis, those who need a refresher with the god, or those who see an Anubis on the other team and instantly think easy kills. But once you friggin' go in, you get rooted and face melted right back to the fountain before you even friggin' know it. We will start out with his abilities, or kit as I call them, then go over the relics and item build, and finish off with ability combos and fighting scenarios. If you liked the video, please hit that thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for future Smite guides. Also, feel free to leave a comment below requesting any future gods or just to say hello for the hell of it. Also, I've set up a clan on the Xbox One called Victis and is open for anyone to join if they like. The spelling will be in the description below. Now let's get into those abilities. Before we get started, I have to go over a little housekeeping that I have for every video. I play with the Savage layout on Xbox One, which may look different from what you are playing with if you're using the default button layout. Also, PS4 has different buttons altogether that use shapes, and the PC and Mac have a different UI. So, as such, from now on, I'll be calling out his abilities as 1, 2, 3, and 4, with the 1 ability all the way over to the left and the 4 or ultimate being on the right. Hopefully this will clear up any possible confusion later on in the video. And now let's do this. I'm going to start out with his passive, which is called Sorrow. It's a buff slash debuff, which is probably one of the one of the first passives we've seen that is a debuff on the enemy team. All of Anubis' abilities steal physical and magical protections from the target, and he gains increased scaling to his item-based magical lifesteal. Take note of that. In addition, Sorrow grants Anubis an additional 30% reduction to all crowd control durations. So he gets a little CC reduction in this passive as well. So if you look at this, it does 3 things, which is pretty amazing. Most things just only do 1 thing. It steals protections, it increases his lifesteal, and reduces crowd control against him. And with everyone having crowd control in the game, that's useful. So you steal 7 protections per tick, and the magical lifesteal scaling per stack is not shown here, but it increases, trust me. And the duration is for 5 seconds, and you can have a max stack of 3. Alright, so that's a good passive right there. Let's go into his 1, Plague of Locusts. Now, Anubis is a heavy hitter. I don't know if you consider him a glass cannon because of his passive allowing him to get additional lifesteal and the protections he can strip away. But he does a lot of damage. And as a way to offset that, Hi-Rez pretty much has it in 2 of his kit. He is immobile while casting. So essentially, he's a sitting duck. Similar to Kabrakan's, ground pound there, where he kind of just stays there and does that. Anubis is immobile. So this is one of the abilities in his kit where once he's casting it, he's not moving until he cancels it. It's a cone. You can rotate while casting this. The Plague of Locusts bellows forth from Anubis' mouth, smothering all enemies in the area and doing damage every 0.5 seconds for 3 seconds. So 6 ticks pretty much. Anubis is immune to knockback while channeling, which is okay, but you're still friggin' a sitting duck. Now, damage per tick is 95 at max rank, plus an additional 40% of your magical power. So you know, it's nine, it's almost 100. We'll say let's just round up. We'll round up right now. 100 times 6. That's 600 damage, not including your scaling. So if you get hit with all 6 ticks of this, you're getting melted down. Probably at least a quarter of your health. Not too shabby. But you know, he can't chase you while it's happening, so chances are you have to have a good setup to hit someone with all 6 ticks of this ability. His 2 is one of his setup abilities here. It's Mummify. It's a projectile. He fires bandages at the projectile, mummifying and stunning his target. It roots them in place. They can't go anywhere. At max rank, the stun is 2 seconds. And trust me, in Smite, 2 seconds is a whole hell of a lot of time. If you which we'll go over the combos at the end of the video, but if you just, from the first 2 abilities I just have gone over, if you follow up with a 1 for 2 seconds, that's 400 health you could potentially melt down. His 3 is called Grasping Hands. This and his ultimate are pretty much one of the more well-known Anubis abilities. Anubis calls for help from the underworld as hands penetrate the ground and claw at the enemies, doing damage and slowing every 0.5 seconds for 2 seconds. So there's a 25% slow for 2 seconds. It does 85 damage at max rank, plus an additional 35% of your magical power. So that's almost in the same line as his 1. It doesn't last as long, it's a 1 second less, but it can do a lot of damage. That's practically 400 health or damage from this ability alone. That's almost a quarter of even the squishy ones. So he does a lot of damage, a lot of damage over time or tick effect abilities, and it's what is in his kit, and you know, it doesn't sound like a lot, 85, 95, but it's per tick, and it's got scaling in addition to that. And you forget, with his passive, he's stripping protections, so he might be doing more than 95 or 85 damage. Let's just get into his ultimate now. His ultimate is probably one of the most recognizable aspects of Anubis and of the mages himself. It is what most people fear when going against an Anubis. He focuses all of his energy into a piercing gaze, doing damage to all enemies within a path every 0.1 seconds for 3 seconds. 3 seconds, again, is a long time in Smite to get freaking face melted. Now, the other ones were 0.5 seconds, so that's every second has 2 ticks, right? Well, if you think a tenth of a second, well, there's 10 ticks within a second. And so for 3 seconds, you could potentially do 30 applications of damage if you hit them for the entire 3 seconds with this ultimate. Now, the scaling on this is only 15%, but again, with his passive, he's stripping protections, he's gaining lifesteal, and it's just face-melting terror. Essentially hitting him 30 times. If you did that times 50, if you round up the damage for taking max rank to 50 times 30, it's simple math, and sometimes I forget it, but that's like what, 1,500? If I can, yeah, it's 1,500 freaking damage from his ultimate, without, potentially without any scaling on top of that. A little less than 1,500. I mean, whatever. That's a lot of damage. That's almost a mage, okay? Depending on what they build. That is disgusting, alright? And that is why he is feared on the battlefield if you're playing against a good Anubis. Now, if you're a trash Anubis, which there are some of those out there, and with the release of his Tier 5 skin, I'm sure you're going to see a lot more Anubis, or Anubi, if that's plural, in your matches, and some of them are going to be disgustingly good, and some of them are just going to be just garbage. So you're going to get a wide range of Anubi. Yes, I'm using that plural. In the upcoming months, I'd say, especially maybe up until after Season 3 finishes. So that in a nutshell is his kit. Oh, and his ultimate there is also an instance where he's immobile. He stays in place. You can spin around, you can follow, but you can't chase. So his 1 and his 4, make him immobile. He's stationary while channeling those abilities. It just sounds so simple, but it's just I'm speechless at how much damage he can put out, and then a skilled Anubis can just run the match. Anyway, that's the abilities. Let's now segue into the item build and relics. Alright, now that we've established how much face melting damage he can do, and I'm saying face melting a lot because it melts your free. You ever seen Indiana Jones and the Lost Ark, the first one there? For those of you who have no recollection of the Indiana Jones movies, which you should, even if you're a younger kid, they're classics. Don't watch the fourth one with the friggin' hiding it from a nuke in a refrigerator. But the other three are great. Anyway, back to what I was saying. At the end there, spoiler alert, when the Nazi opens up the Ark and his face melts, that's what I'm talking about. Right there. That's what happens, essentially, when you go against a skilled Anubis. Anyway, lost track of what the hell I was saying. Sorry for that tangent. Now that we've established Raiders of the Lost Ark level of face melting, we're going to go over his relics and his items build as well. This setup, or this build that I'm going to go over here, is primarily for conquest. It can be used pretty much in any game mode except maybe assault, just because you can't return to the fountain in that game mode. So you're going to have to be a little bit more strategic in what you buy and what you're going against. So as I always say in every video, these items and relics are situational. Now, he's most likely going to be in mid lane. Excuse me. Maybe if you're daring going solo, I wouldn't jungle. Definitely wouldn't carry. Some people can use him pretty good, but I wouldn't do any of those. So let's go into the relics. Being immobile for half of his kit, I would strongly suggest getting Purification, because as I said earlier in the video, everyone and their sister essentially has some form of CC. And even with his passive reducing CC, this will help you when you're channeling someone and something, and they get you with a root or something like Neath or whatever, root you in place with their spirit arrow. So Purification is most likely a must. After that, you could go, depending on what you're going against, Sanctuary. If you're really ballsy, you could go with what the hell is it called? Sunder. You can pop Sunder on them, and then do even more damage, because it does true damage plus more for the god level, and it also reduces their protections by 30% on top of probably your passive as well. So it would just destroy tanks even. So you could potentially go sprint as well. It all depends on what you're going against. And if you're not really worried about anything else, meditation is always going to help you out. But probably level 12, you may not need meditation. So being a mage, I'd probably go Sanctuary, Sprint, or Sunder. I'm going to pop Sanctuary here, just for S&Gs. So being the fact that you are going to be in mid lane more often than not, you're going to go with Soul Stone as your starter item. It gives you 20 magical power, plus another 100 mana from the start, which isn't too shabby. Plus, hitting an enemy with a basic attack, this includes minions, tears out and stores a portion of their soul, granting 4 MP5. At 5 souls, your next damaging ability will consume all the souls and deal an additional 60 magical power. So this gives you MP5 with just basic attacks. And you can, you could potentially live off basic attacks for a good chunk until you get a pop an ability. Or you just start with ability and finish off with a basic attack and get that MP5. And the 60 magical power does a lot of damage early game. So you essentially get 5 stacks with this, you pop your 3, and you get that 60 additional magical power on top of your normal rank damage output. So Soulstone's definitely the way to go. Some people might go Vampiric Shroud for the guaranteed MP5, but I think Soulstone will help you stay stay in the lane a lot longer and help you farm a little bit more than Vampiric Shroud would. Additionally, you'd start with this and you'd probably go into boots 1 or 2, I can't remember, and pick up a couple potions, both health and mana. Start out. Once you get through that and you start, getting through the laning phase a little bit and you got into your first back, you should hopefully have enough for Shoes of the Magi. You're going to want Shoes of the Magi because, he's not slow, he's just mobile for half his kit. So the additional movement speeds is always going to help. Most people get boots anyhow, so it kind of washes out in the end. What you want, though, is the magical penetration and the magical power over the magical power is only 5 more, but the penetration helps. Cooldown reduction, you don't really have to worry about too much because he's just disgusting at times. So anyway, after that, you're going to want to go right into a lifesteal item. Why? Because of his passive. It enhances his lifesteal ability. So you're going to pop a Bancroft's talent, 100 magical power, 12 magical lifesteal, and the passive you gain additional magical power from missing health. This caps at 100 power at 25% health. So if you're getting ganked in mid lane and it's close, it's toe to toe, and you decide to turn around and you have 25% health, you get an additional 100 magical power. So from this item, you can essentially get 200 magical power, turn around, root, and ult, and just destroy whoever's chasing you. Potentially. I mean, you could also get killed yourself because you only got 25% of your health or less. It is what it is. But I would definitely go Bancroft's because it gives you additional lifesteal through his passive. After that, we're going to go into Obsidian Shard. It's 60 magical power, and you get 33% magical penetration on him is going to be great because it just helps with those additional ticks that he has in his kit, because every one of them has like multiple hits per over time. English, I don't know what the hell I'm trying to say, but you understand what I'm trying to say. It's essentially a dot, a damage over time ability in his entire kit, except for his 2, which doesn't do any damage. Obsidian Shard is pretty much the way you want to go. Now, where the hell's the next item? Well, I can't get to it. It's not showing up here right away. Rada Tahuti is what I'd go next. You get MP5, another 125 magical power, and increases your magical power by an additional 25%. If you're not getting what I'm kind of doing here, is I'm stacking the hell out of magical power, because I want the scaling in addition to the base damage on my kit to just hit them hard. Rada Tahuti, squeeze that booty. I don't know if that's the phrase. That's what we're going with. Alright, so at this point, you would definitely, it's up in the air what you can get. Some people actually even go, and it's not here. Where is it? Early in the kit, right here. They might go Warlock Sash because it gives you magical power per stack, etc., etc. So I mean, it's another way to stack items if you want to go with a stacking item. Okay, I just said that like I don't know what the hell, but you can use this maybe instead of Bancroft's or Obsidian Shard early on. I personally don't stack with Anubis because, I mean, yeah, it's easy to do. You're in lane. It's something you could easily do, but It's just not something I potentially do because I just want to hit that damage. I just want to hit them hard. So, but one thing I do try to pick up usually is Gem of Isolation, especially after the buff. And is it troll? A little bit, maybe. But Gem of Isolation can work good with Anubis because of the passive. Enemies hit by your damaging abilities will move 25% slower for 2 seconds. Okay, but since you're doing ticks, or damage over time, it kind of refreshes. Alright? So you pop them with your 3, which is, you know, the hands coming up from the ground. And they're additionally slowed in that. And then you can maybe mummify, alt, or whatever. I mean, you hit them with your alt, they're not going to be able to run away very fast. You hit them with your 1, they're not going to be able to run away very fast. And you're hitting them a little bit more damage. It's securing a little more damage because his 1 and his 4, you're immobile, you can't chase him down. You hit him with the Gem of Isolation passive, and you could potentially do that little bit extra damage. So that's why I go with Gem of Isolation. Gem of Isolation. I don't know if I mumbled there. At this point, if you haven't sold it already, you're gonna want to sell Soulstone because it's not doing anything anymore. It's just it's not helping you out. Now, you can. This is where I'd grab another lifesteal item because just his passive, you get a second lifesteal, and you can even do this before Gem of Isolation. You can maybe insert this right after Bancrofts, anywhere in the kit after Bancrofts. You could probably put another lifesteal item in. Divine Ruin is good if they have a healer. Any kind of healer. Divine Ruin is something I would go with, and probably earlier than last item because it would just shut down their healing abilities. Polynomicon, not something I would use with him because he's not really a basic attack kind of mage. So I'd probably go with Pythagorean's Piece because it has, you know, decent magical power, decent lifesteal, and it gives you a little bit of cooldown, but it also gives your allies as well some magical power and lifesteal within 70 units. So I would go with this last item if there's no healers or anything else. Now this kit will allow you to stay alive somewhat. I mean, people can still burn you down 100 to 0 pretty quickly. Now you go against an Awelix, you might get crapped on, you know, just because her mobility, it's hard for you to do what you need to do. But if you play smart, you can, you know, root her before she even gets close. You know, shutting down people who get close to you is the way to go with Anubis because you can't do much once they're close. But anyway, that's different from what I'm trying to say here. This kit, and I'll actually get out of here so you can just see it on the side. This, I mean, item build will do you good. It'll help you do damage. Well, you'll do a lot of damage if you hit your abilities. It'll help you set up to do the more, get those abilities off with the slow, and it will sustain you with the lifesteal like crazy. People will get pissed off because you are just healing yourself up so damn much between 2 lifesteal items and his passive. So that in a nutshell should get you going, should get you to learn the god, or get reacquainted with the god, and just destroy. Destroy. Anyway, I'm kind of loopy, so let's get into the combos and the fighting scenarios and whatnot. Alright, now's the time where we go over how to fight with Anubis, what the combos are, and what to look for when you're going against an Anubis. Now he's a mage, so he's magical. We're going to go over here to Odin Squared, say hello to the boys. Hey boys, whoop, right there, and do a little love tap there. Let's see, 189 across the board, nothing fancy. We're going to do a little jump right there. Alright, so you want to kind of, you know, we're gonna go through his kit, and then I'll go over the combos. So let me not jump the gun here. His 1, as we called, is a cone there, and you'll see here. I'm gonna try to move during this. Now I can't move, but I can turn like this. So I'll try to move, and then I'll try to turn. Or, yeah, so. One is that. I can't move, but I can turn. See? So I'm hitting that. Not too bad. It is a wide cone, so you can hit a fair amount of people in it. Unlike the Ymir freeze, unlike Medusa's cone, it is very difficult to just kind of run up and not get hit by it. You'd have to be kind of pretty much at his side to not get hit by it. And even that, I mean, if you look, he's practically side by side, and he's still getting hit by it. Let's see. Yeah. So that's only a 9-second cooldown. That's not too shabby. All right, so his 2, that's got some distance. His 2 is just, you know, it's mummified. You pop it out, boom, he's mummified. He can't move for a few seconds. Like 2 seconds is pretty long. It gives you an ample amount of time to do damage. His 3, we'll go over the left Odin here because he doesn't get much action. That's where you throw that out. Boom, boom, boom. Look at all that damage. Not too shabby. Not too shabby at all. And you look at those little, look here. I didn't show it there, but their protections are getting stripped. And you can notice my passive down there with little flames and stuff down in the left corner. I'll throw this out of here again. You can kind of see it happening right there. Yeah, and then I'll do this. Boom. I got 3 stacks of my passive going on. And they'll fizzle out here in 1 second. Boom. They're gone. Alright, so now we're going to do his ultimate. And just, let's see. I think I can, yeah, I can set it up. It's got some good distance. It looks like a laser beam right here. And it actually kind of looks like a laser beam when you do it. Again, I'm immobile. I think you'll notice that I do have CC immunity, I believe. If I turn gold, then I won't be able to get pulled into an Ares ult or something like that. I can't recall. It's been a little while. So let's just test it out. Yep, see, I'm CC immune. So you can use this to counter an Ares ult. And you can see there, I could still turn. I couldn't move, though. I was immobile. So we're going to go over his combos now without the ultimate. And the ultimate really is just, you can throw that in as well. There was maybe some slow encoding there, so I apologize if the video is stuttered. I'm not starting over, though. So let's go. What you want is you want to be, you know, at arm's length somewhat with an Anubis. Because, you know, like an Odin here even, if he jumped on, bird bombed you, a good chunk of your health would be gone. I have about 2,000 health, and it can quickly be melted down by a competent DPS. I couldn't think of the damn word there. So if they get close, or you know that the thing gonna come in on you, you can hit them with the 2, root them in place, and then you're going to want to throw down the 3 and then the 1. If you otherwise, I mean, your main wave clear is going to be the 3. You just throw this right in the line of where the minions go. They got to walk through it. They're kind of slowed down, and they're just going to get that damage over time. After 1 or 2 items, you know, you're going to be clearing the wave essentially with just that ability itself. You could follow up with a 1 after that on the minion wave. Alright, so another thing is you could just throw down the 3 to slow them, especially with Gem of Isolation if you have it. And then run up, root, or hit the 2, let's say, instead of root. And then follow up with a 1. So that's pretty much it. And I'll go through it here in a second here. So they're coming at you, you hit them with that, you hit them with that, and you hit them with that, and they can't run away. You want probably a little bit better placement with 3 than I just did. Maybe have it so he's kind of in the center, so when he does try to run away, he's got further to run to get out. Another way is you throw this down, like I said, towards the center. He's trying to move, you're able to root him, and then you follow up with that, and he's done a sick amount of damage. I want to say sick. Alright? Now, excuse me, I don't know what the hell's going on with my PC right now. So again, if there's any stuttering in this portion, I apologize. But we're just going to power through this because we're almost done. His ultimate. You could use your ultimate in a last-ditch effort. Like, oh shit, I'm going to die. Let me just try to destroy them burn them down before they get me. But he's immobile, so sometimes that doesn't work. There's plenty of Anubis players that I've gone against that have tried to ult me, and I just sidestep and just burn them down with auto attacks or whatever, and it's not, it doesn't work, you know. So you want that setup, and you want that setup similar to what I just showed you in those combos. Now, I would definitely, if possible, and if you're ready, especially if you have a good jungle or someone else who can set it up, you know, a Ymir, anyone else like that who could stun them, then you were gonna want to go straight up, just root, put that down, and then ult as fast as you can. And that is a very bad camera angle. That sucked. I'll do it one more time once that's lit up. But the point is, when you throw down the 3 first, it allows for that slow. But when you're trying to ult, you want to root first, throw down the 3 as fast as you can, and then whip out that ult. And you should be able to burn them down completely or very close to it. And you can follow up with 1 if they're close enough, or your teammates can follow up and get them. Now, as this again goes on cooldown, I have seen a Titan maybe, you know, is a little bit low, not a little bit, you know, like 75%, 50%, you know, maybe not as high as 75. I've seen a Titan though get backdoored by an Anubis. And how the hell is that possible? Well, he just walks up and ults the shit out of him. Just straight up ults him. And like I said, it does 1500. So, minimum. He drops his entire kit, ults, and it's just, he could potentially do so much damage. He could, you know, his ult is one of the most powerful, if not the most powerful ability in the game. So let's try to go over that again. At a different camera angle. We're gonna hit them with the 2, throw down the 3, and then ult. Right? In quick succession here. Ready? Hopefully I can do it. 2, 3, ult. Look at all that damage. Of course, Odin squared, they don't show it on their health bar, but that was a lot of friggin' numbers floating up. That right there is a way to destroy somebody with your ult. And if you have a teammate there with you, it's one and done, right? Now, the order in which you want to rake up his abilities are as follows, or how I do it. Now, there are 2 different schools. Primarily, I'm always going to rank up his 3 because that's the lane clear. That's how you get the minion waves killed a lot easier. Then you can go either the 1 if you want to do that more damage, you know. Oh, and you're not very good at landing his Mummify. So you're going to want Mummify as, you know, you're going to want to go 3, 1, 2 pretty much, I think, to start out for the first 3 levels. Then after that, definitely always hit the 3 whenever you can. It's going to do the most damage, it's going to add slows, it's going to help you with setup and everything else. If you're not confident with his 2 and landing that Mummify, I would go 1 after that. And then 2 whenever you have to. If you're more confident with the Mummify, I try to rank that up before the 1, or in conjunction with the 1, you know, kind of rotating back and forth once the 3's done. Because the higher the rank, the longer they are stunned. So, and the longer they're stunned, the more damage you could output on them. And of course, whenever his ultimate pops up, throw a point in that. It's going to do that much more damage to the enemy gods. I hope that helped. I know some of my comments or stuff was loopy. I might have mumbled a little bit. It's been a very busy week, and I'm a little bit tired between sick kids trying to pump out some videos and just the holidays and everything. So if you liked the video, hit that thumbs up and or leave a comment down below. I meant to say subscribe to the channel, but you can still leave a comment down below. Let me know if this helped you. Let me know if you guys have any other maybe substitutions for items. And, if you don't want to go with gem isolation, you feel something else is much better. Leave it down below. Leave it open for discussion. Um, and just enjoy it. If you got the tier 5 skin, let me know how you like it. I'm going to work my way up there with whatever money I can scrounge up to try to get those gems to finish the Odyssey. And as always, guys, I will see you in the next one. A peace.